It's one of my favorite segments, and it couldn't be better to happen today. It is a Men's Health Monday, and Dr. Michael Lutz from the Michigan Men's Health Foundation is here. Dr. Lutz, why? Why did I do this to myself? Little jet ski accident over the weekend. I think we believe as guys that we could just do whatever we want. Things that we used to be able to do 20 years ago. I mean, I don't know.
I always say it's a great idea until it's not. It's kind of like skipping down the steps. You know, when you were a kid, you used to skip down the steps, no big deal. As you get older, it's one at a time.
It truly is. And we were talking about the ribs. Just, I told people, like, my ribs are hurting. It hurts to laugh. So small giggles, but not full laughs. But the ribs, there's just not a lot you can do for it.
Now you just got to have to wing it, let it heal, and in a few weeks you'll be back to yourself again.
The pain of the ribs and back pain, I feel like, are two types of pain that really prohibit and limit people. Back pain and rib pain.
Yeah, and things that you take for granted, like sneezing, coughing, clearing your throat, you can't do that.
No, I'm just so thankful I can breathe, and I'm thankful it's not a lot worse. But let me ask you, okay, so Woodward Dream Cruise.
It was great.
Over the weekend. And yes, isn't it just one of those spectacular events of the summer that happened? 30 years of that event.
Yeah, it is. And, guys love their cars.
Yeah.
Guys will do anything to take care of their cars. They baby their cars. They do everything for their cars. But they don't do it for themselves.
Why do you think that is? Because you're right about that. I mean, from the paint to the detail, everything has to be perfect on their car. You look, for lack of the reference, you look under the hood of a car, and a lot of guys don't look under the hood of their own body.
Right, and that's what we need to have guys do. They kind of have to pull out their own toolbox for themselves and do the simple things. We're not asking guys to go out there and do everything. Just do something. You don't have to change a whole lot. The simplest thing you can do is check in with yourself. Check in and what's your weight? Where's your weight at? Well, a lot of docs and a lot of offices use BMI, body mass index, but that's a horrible way to measure your weight because it doesn't account for muscle mass. So the best thing to do is to calculate your waist to height ratio. So I hope everybody listening right now is doing that. What's my waist circumference and how tall am I? So a guy with a 36-inch waist should be about 6 feet tall. 0.5 is the magic number. So 36-inch waist if you're 6 feet tall, 34-inch waist if you're 5'10". Just do the math. It's waist to height circumference, and that'll tell you if you're right on the mark. Your goal is to get there. You may not be there. You may be a little high, or you may be even a little low, but that's where you really want to go.
I am glad to hear you say that about BMI because I've been such an anti-BMI guy because I think look, I've got some weight to lose. We could all do better, but I don't feel like I'm an obese person. Some of the language they use, I'm classified as obese, and I don't feel it. I don't like that result. I don't like that word being used, so I just dismiss it. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing either or not, but that language really is almost offensive.
Yeah, it's not warming, for sure. Yeah. And nor does it stimulate you want to be better. It already makes you feel defeated.
Yeah.
So once you're defeated, where are you going to go? So the key is to give people some tools to which to work with. And so the simplest thing is what's your goal and how do you get there? And the reason the waist circumference is so important is because that's what drives your overall health. Because that weight in the middle of your body is what really causes a lot of the health issues, the malignancies, the heart disease, the erectile function issues. All those things all stem right from that girth obesity. So if you can really kind of attack that as your goal and choose a simple goal to really try and get that weight slowly in that right direction, that's really all you want to do.
It's a Men's Health Monday here on 760 WJR. Dr. Michael Lutz from the Michigan Men's Health Foundation is here. And I just love the analogy to the cars and the relationship with guys in their cars because if you treated your body like a car, I think we would all do a little bit better, even from, getting the oil changed a little bit. And that I always think of getting your oil changed as checking your blood once in a while or annually. I think that alone is something, Doc, that you could really goes a long way to detect something.
And, your heart is your engine. Your heart is the one thing, and heart disease is the number one cause of death always has been, probably always will be. And the easiest thing to do is just make sure your blood pressure is under control. And you can go literally anywhere and get your blood pressure checked. You can go to any of the local markets that have clinics within them. They'll go ahead, they'll check your blood pressure for free. And so about twice a year, you should get your blood pressure checked and target for that like 120/80 number. That's really the spot to be. That's the sweet spot. When you start getting above that, we now know that you have some fairly significant issues. If your blood pressure is just like 130/80 or higher, if they can get it from 130 down to 120, just that 10 millimeters of mercury, you can reduce the risk of heart disease by 25% and the risk of death by 25%. That's a huge number.
It really is. And you talk about all of those things, how to lower it. And that goes back to the fuel you put in. What you eat, it really impacts everything about your body.
Right. Balance is the key. And, nothing extreme. Don't get crazy. And, all these people are on these diets. And, the reality is it's a lifestyle. You just have to kind of balance it all out and see what you're doing to your body and treat it just like you would your car. Give it the right fuel. Really take care of the engine. Check the oil. Do these things that are on a regular basis, and you really can't go wrong because if you know what's going on, knowledge is power. You can really tell.
Do you think guys, you've been a doctor for me, you've seen a lot of people, a lot of patients, a lot of men deal with this your whole life. Do you think we just don't want to know? What do you think it is? Because the rate at which guys go to the doctor is not great. And why do you think that is? What's the barrier? Is it this tough thing? What is the barrier there?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. It's kind of boys are raised into men and they're under the care of their moms. And once they lose the care of their moms, they're free into the world and they don't focus on their health and they focus more on caring for the family and caring for others versus caring for themselves. The other is there really isn't this great motivation for guys to know. They'd rather kind of put their head in the sand than really know what's going on with their health. They figure, I'm fine, don't worry about it. But the reality is you may not be. And so getting checked and doing the right things, and like I said before, get your blood pressure checked on a not an infrequent basis and getting the ideal body weight by doing the waist to height ratio. Simple things and eating well, lifestyle behavior patterns, all those simple things will actually make you have a much healthier outcome.
And if the barrier is cost, and we bring this up, there is an event every year. It's been going on for a decade now. The Men's Health event, September 20th at Ford Field. It's completely free. We've got about a minute left, Doc. Talk to us about the Michigan Men's Health event at Ford Field, September 20th.
So, as you're right, this event's been going on now for 15 years.
15 years, pardon me.
And every single thing I just talked about, we do at this event. We calculate your waist to height ratio. We check your vitals. We do oral cancer screenings. We do all the blood testing. And this year we're adding some very special and unique blood tests. We'll actually give you information that will actually change your life. And then we have all these educational services that'll be all along the way, plus massages and free food to all our attendees. So how can you say no?
You cannot beat that. It is totally free. You do have to register, though. So you can do that right now online, MichiganMen'sHealthFoundation.org. MichiganMen'sHealthFoundation.org. You can register. It's a free event. Just get everything looked at, everything worked on. And Dr. Lutz, we cannot thank you enough for sitting in with us, sharing your message, and sharing the details of the Michigan Men's Health Foundation event at Ford Field. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, you bet. Great being here. Thank you.
Great to be with you, sir. We're going to take a break. Top of the hour. News next, 760 WJR.